Hey everyone, this is Wei. Thanks for checking this out, and for this video I will be doing a quick female head sketch on plain white paper, and I'll be using the regular graphite pencils. So let's get started and I'll talk about it along the way. Alright, let me sketch this real quick. Doesn't have to be exact. Just gonna start off with the eye. From there, you got the nose coming down. You go straight down and hit the edge of the nose, and then from here you can measure this angle like this from there, so probably around here. Again, I'm just kind of roughing it in real quick. This is the nostrils. Now I'm drawing on a regular print paper, the regular 8.5 by 11 paper, so it's pretty smooth, and since I'm drawing pretty small, this should work well because I'll be able to get a little bit more detail with the because it is a smooth paper. Eyebrow, let's see. Face comes down, jaw straight down. Okay, I'm gonna let's draw the other eye real quick. Here, probably somewhere right here. Again, if you need an exact, you can do some more measurements or whatever. But in this case, I just want to get something down so I can start shading. Okay, and then the shadow. Looks like I made her eyes a little bit too big, but that's okay. Actually, make her look a little bit better. Okay, here. Okay. All right. So to shade, I'm gonna start with, again, I'm still using the 2B, so I'm just gonna rough in. I'm gonna start on the left side. I'm just gonna start, getting in some basic tones for the for skin. And you can see it's really rough. And the key is to keep your pencil really light as you're shading. You don't want to push in too hard. Just very lightly. I mean, get used to doing this kind of stuff where you can, have multiple strokes, and then you can see, it gets progressively darker with each stroke, and it's very slow. So that's how I'm holding the pencil. Come straight down. Let's see. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make the nostrils a little bit darker, so you can see where they are. Here. Okay, let's go back up to the eye. Start doing the eyebrow. And let's get the eye defined a little bit better so I know where it is. Let's draw that. I'm gonna draw a little highlight. That's a circle for the highlight, the dark area, and then just gonna shade around it. Usually it works really well. To actually just draw in the highlight, outline the highlight first. Okay, in here, just got a little bag under her eye, which is kind of dark, so I'm going to shade that. Okay, so let's get. There's a lot of subtleties in the eye, and it's actually very complicated. So if you're not sure, just kind of start slow. So right here, you notice how this is a little bit darker. Alright, and then there's a huge highlight area right there. Kind of flat. Okay, so that comes straight down. It's a little bit light here. Shade here, and then the cheeks. Well, let's continue downward. Cheeks. Nose, so dark. Now the highlight of the nose is very important, and so I'm going to sketch that right here, right about there, so I know where it is, and then I'll shade around it. And the nose is actually something really fun to draw because, once you draw correctly, you can really, feel it coming toward you. It's pretty neat. So here's the highlight. There's a dark area, there's a nostril dark. The shadow is dark, okay? This is a little bit lighter here. Here's the dark area. And if you like, you know, you can exaggerate the reflective lighting, you know, on the nose. It generally works pretty well if you exaggerate the lightings on the face. You know, don't try to draw it exactly, you know, as you see it. You know, it's actually okay. It's like right here, the cheeks. Right? I mean, you can make it darker. It's okay. You know, it'll probably look better too. Okay. All right, so let's continue downward. Now for the lip, just kind of drawing this dark area. You see these lines that kind of radiates outwards? You can actually shade it like that, you know. It's going this way. Since you need those lines anyways, you might as well just follow it, right? So it's kind of like it's radiate from the inside of the mouth. So right under the lip is usually dark. So it tucks in. So there's always a bulge right here, right? And you actually follow that direction too, the way you shade it. Okay, chin, jaw, chin. Okay. I'm just gonna concentrate on her right side of the face for now. So a little highlight right here. I mean, if you like, you can actually go like this, you know, just to define it, you know, so you know where to shade, and you can smooth it out later. Okay. So darker, 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 darker. Hair, dark. So now I'm gonna switch to, let's see, hold on, let me get a little bit cleaner before I switch. Okay, so now I'm gonna switch to a 4B, just so that I can draw a little bit quicker. So I'll start with the eye since this is the darkest part, and I'll get used to the pencil. So I'll just go ahead and sketch that. Because usually when you pick up another pencil, especially if it's a different grade, it might be a little bit rusty. So just start off in dark area so you get used to it first. Now for this line here, I'll slightly rotate my pencil so I get a sharper edge. Right? If I rotate back, I get a flatter edge because it's kind of chiseled to one point. Okay, so I'm gonna draw the eyebrow. So you can see with the 4B, now the shape is coming because it's darker. Now it, everything's just kind of gives it a lot more depth, right? And you can shade a lot of it with the 4B too. If you can just do it real light, you can actually simulate a 2B, but it's a little bit softer, Now this kind of area right here with this little highlight, when you draw it, you can exaggerate like that, right? Even though it's obviously this is a little bit darker than that. But in drawing it's actually okay because again, if you shade it exactly, it's rather boring. And you see that a lot when people shade the nose. There's a lot of exaggeration there in terms of light, the reflective light, and so. As you notice, some of the nose that people draw kind of looks like Rudolph, as if there's a glow to it, and that's just exaggeration in the drawing, and it actually makes it look better. So here. So you see how her nose kind of looks like as if it's kind of reddish. But that gives it a lot more form, though. Makes the drawing more interesting. And again, it is a drawing, so don't You know, if you're gonna copy it exactly, then what's the point, right? Alright, so now I'm gonna do, well, let's get back to this area. So let's do the lip a little bit. Since this is fairly dark, I'm just gonna go ahead and you gotta look at the subtleties, right? Right here, see how there's this line here is a little bit darker, and you gotta start seeing that. You know, once you put down like a basic, you know, gray over it, then you're gonna start realizing that there's, you know, all the shapes is actually very complex. So like the edge right here and the little top right here is a little bit darker, right? And then even here, you know, you have the highlight, and this line here that is a little bit darker. Underneath the lip, so it's dark. So I'm gonna let's do the little bit of the cheeks area. Here I'm just gonna have it really nice and flat, so I'm gonna rub it off a little bit. Here, so like here, you know, it's a little sinks in a little bit, and you can exaggerate that too. Corners of the lips are usually pretty dark, so you can exaggerate that if you like. So see, like jawline, and the jawline, you know, you can do this kind of strokes, right? And that'll give you like a dark edge. But you know, try to do it like these lines. Try to do it, you know, where it's multiple strokes and not just one hard line, because usually hard lines are rare in the human body. You know, just if you draw the line too hard, it just looks like it looks like a line drawing as opposed to something that's shaded and actually has definition. Darker. Let's see the nose. Now I'm picking up this area. It's a little bit dark. There's a little highlight there. This is dark. Again, this area you can exaggerate and make it darker. Or even this, you see the line right here? A lot of artists, I mean, a lot of portraits, you see that. It's pretty exaggerated. But it actually still looks correct. Okay. Let's try the line a little bit darker here. Let's get the eyes a little bit darker. See, it's really subtle. I don't even know if you can see this, but this area is a little bit lighter. See, like this area right here, because this comes out a little bit, right? This bulges. So you can leave that area. Nose darker in here. Dark. All right, so you see how it works, right? I mean, it's just, you know, from this point on, it's just, you know, looking into more of the, you know, start looking into these, you know, highlights and shapes and try to define it more, and you just kind of keep going. But that's the idea, you know, when you're sketching, it's just, you know, keep it loose. Start with 2B and just rough in stuff. And then, you know, put in a general shading area with your 2B, and then once you have the general gray, then you go in with the 4B or a darker pencil, you know, just to get it better defined. So like here, you know, the hair, like, I mean, you might as well use. I'm gonna switch to a 5B, you know, which is a little bit darker, and that'll give it a lot more punch. It's a little bit quicker too when you shade. So that's the hair. And you can go in with a 5B if you like and darken up some areas. So you get the idea. It's just, I mean, I'm gonna push this a little bit more, but the process would be the same. Okay, so here's the final drawing, and I pushed a little bit more, mostly with the 5B, just so that I can get it done quickly. So when you look at this, you know, like a quick sketch like this, you see that I exaggerate some of the features, right? Like I gave right here a little bit of a rim lighting, whereas right here is almost, you know, invisible. So by exaggerating, you know, like the cheeks or the nose, you know, you give your drawing some life, you know, because you don't want to shade it exactly like this because it's really boring. And actually you would, you know, you spend a lot more time just shading just to make it look like this, like realistically. But for sketches like this, you know, just keep it loose, and it's okay to show your strokes, you know, as long as you get the right form, you know, your strokes can be rough and it still looks good. So just keep it loose and, you know, have fun with it. And you can check out some of my other videos where I talk about, you know, my lines and just different ways of shading. Give it a shot and see how it goes, and hope you enjoy this, and I will see you next time.